We are going to unpack a very somber event that happened in Philadelphia, the 7.5-hour standoff. And we're also going to break down what Tom Ferry had to say at his 2019 Success Summit. Tune in to Toole Time right now. I'm Tom Toole. She is Jess Lion. We are back on Toole Time this week, and pretty crazy week in Philadelphia. There was a lot of news. People were calling, texting me about it. There was a 7.5-hour standoff in North Philadelphia where 6 police officers got shot. 2 were trapped in a row home where a suspect was firing an AR-15 assault rifle, who's now in custody. And we're not here to get political. We're not here to talk about what happened during the event. Rather, what's the issue behind it? How does something like this even happen in a city like Philadelphia? Because it's not just this is not an isolated incident. I mean, like later that weekend, there's 5 more people that got shot. Mm-hmm. So obviously there is a problem with safety in parts of the city. And what I wanted to do first, Jess, is kind of break down what some of the politicians said, both parties,
okay.
And we can kind of look at their comments and then really talk about what the fundamental issue here is. Because, I mean, having a 7.5-hour standoff after a warrant was getting served, this is not what's supposed to happen.
No.
So, I mean, Mayor Kenny from the city of Philadelphia, he came out and called for more gun controls, more control on guns. Governor Tom Wolf, he signed an executive order to reduce gun violence, and what the order called for was gathering more data about gun violence, having the state police monitor hate groups a little more closely to see if there's any chatter about mass shootings, a text message service to report suspicious events. And then President Trump came out and said, why is this guy even on the streets? He had a lengthy record that included drug charges, assault charges. Obviously, that's a really good question here. So we're getting kind of reactions all across the board. What do you think about all this?
Well, going and seeing the reactions from lawmakers and everybody like that, I like the text messaging aspect of it. Like, same thing as if you hear something or see something, you need to say something. And I feel like a lot of that is going to come from the community, because in tragedies and things like this, a lot of the times some people knew, like, that person had a list or behavior or something like that. So if you notice something's off, I think that's a great point, the text messaging service. My biggest issue with this is you're in an 8-hour standoff. How is that even possible? Because you have an automatic weapon. Like, I think that's absolutely crazy.
So it's interesting that you see people calling for gun control. I'm pretty clear that was an illegally purchased gun. So I don't know that gun control is really going to help here. What I liked, what was said is from President Trump, which was, why is this guy on the streets? Maybe they need to be a little harder on crime. The guy had a very lengthy record. And when you look at what happened, I mean, there was police officers in the row home, and the guy was shooting the assault rifle into the air, and they survived, but it was a pretty crazy situation. And the issue I see here, it's not gun control, it's not why is this guy on the streets, is the system really helping people? Because you're talking about that there was witnesses that came out, they said they knew the guy had guns. Mm-hmm. They didn't report it, so obviously that's a whole issue. And there was a lot of people that got hurt here. There was even a neighbor surveillance camera that caught like some of the early dramatic moments of the shooting. And then after all this happens, then the U.S. attorney, his name's William McSwain, he started attacking the Philadelphia DA, Larry Krasner, that he was because the shooter was a previously convicted felon with a long rap sheet. We have plenty of criminal laws in the city, but we don't have robust enforcement by the DA. So that seems to be a big talking point here, which I don't disagree with, because, why is this guy out there? I mean, he's got this lengthy record. He has access to assault rifles. I mean, obviously there's criminal activity here. So, it's great to call for gun control. I'm not sure that's really the issue here, because gun control's, he bought it illegally, so that happened. So it's more
I think the issue
the criminal activity happening.
Yeah, I think, how are you going to hone down on that illegal purchase.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of it does have to do with gun control, but you're right. Like, he had all these charges, and he had been incarcerated before. And why is he out on the street? Like, or how could that even have happened? What was the hiccup there? Why was he released, and why wasn't there a closer eye kept on him, and anybody for that matter? But I mean, I do think it's a matter of gun control. But you're right. There was a misstep.
Well, I mean, this is all related to drugs. I mean, the reason they served a search warrant because there was drugs being sold out of the property or delivering drugs. I don't have all the details here, and they're still trying to figure that out. That's been one of the questions in the case. So I love the call for gun safety law. I mean, that's something that, these things are serious. But what I also know is that this guy shouldn't have been out there in the first place. So that to me is the fundamental issue here. So it's going to be interesting to see what we comes of this. I mean, it's the thing that drives me crazy about politicians, and I am not political, but they all come out now that this happened, and they all say, "Oh, we need better gun control. Why we need to enforce the laws more." I hope they actually do something for once, because this was national news. I had people from all over the country like reaching out to me, texting me, saying, "Hey, are you okay? What's going on?" I mean, this was a pretty crazy thing. So, without the follow through from all the guys who are getting on TV saying we need more gun control, I mean, this is on the politicians. This is why these people get elected to office, to come up with a solution here. And if they don't do that, then they're failing everybody. So that to me is the ultimate judgment on this, is that the system failed in a number of ways. You can point to gun control. You can point to stricter law enforcement. If nobody does anything, we're going to have the same thing happen over and over again.
We'll see what they do with it.
So moving on here. Not really a great way to transition after a story like that. So last week was the Tom Ferry Success Summit out in Anaheim.
FOMO.
If you want to work on your business, that's the place to go. No question about it. The theme this year was being all in. That was what he said. What I heard every 5 minutes was video, 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 video. And I wanted to break down some stats about video, and then we can talk about how that plays into the real estate business and how that can help people. So let me give you some numbers here. 51% of marketing professionals view video as the best return on investment for any marketing medium that's out there. People that use video experience 49% faster growth in their business. 64% of consumers purchase based on branded social videos.
I'm guilty of that.
81%. Well, and this one's interesting too. So 81% of consumers believe they made a purchase based on video versus 63% last year, according to HubSpot. 6 out of 10 people would rather view videos online than watch television, according to Google. Mm-hmm. And 78% of consumers are consuming video weekly. 55% are consuming it daily from HubSpot. So these are massive numbers. Facebook believes they're going to be a video-only platform in the next 2 to 3 years, according to one of their executives, by 2022, excuse me. So all I'm hearing here is video. And the message that was very clear from Tom is if you're not doing video, you need to. And if you're doing it now, you need to get better. You need to invest in it because that's what consumers want. And these stats really show that, not only in the success of the businesses, but also what people want. So the question I have is, how can that relate to real estate, and where do people need to be putting their time into videos? Because right now, I mean, there's some agents that they don't even know how to send a freaking email, and they don't know how to.
Don't know how to open a PDF.
They don't know how to open a PDF. So what's going to happen to these people? I mean, where's this go for the people that don't do video? What's that mean for you?
You're going to get flushed out. I mean, that's the bottom line. You're going to get flushed out. Either you're going to learn or you're going to be gone. And it really is. You go and consume video for every single thing. You go for entertainment. You go for education. Like, if I want to find out about something, how to do something, or where I need to go for something, I look at a video. Honestly, it comes down to time. I don't have time to scroll through an article and read it. I could be multitasking, listening to a video, watching a video, doing something else. And that isn't different for your real estate needs. You're going to want to look at all of the agent hacks or anything that not just we have out there, but other agents have out there, informing you on how to do it. And it also builds a little bit of, I'm a real person, you know, that connection. You're not just someone over the phone, like a voice, and that typical salesperson that everybody, a consumer would be afraid of. I'm a real person. I care about you. this is my face. I think that's where you need to be, and if you're not on that train, you better get on it.
You said something pretty interesting there about helping you solve a problem and looking at YouTube. So according to Google, 65% of people use YouTube when they want to solve a problem, whether it's like, how do I build a house? Do I want to like remove like a splinter? Like all this crazy
the
stuff.
whites of your eyes.
Well, I mean, I've watched them how to, you get like for example, like a whole chicken, how to break it down and butcher it properly. Yeah. So what I see here is that the people that are not doing video, they will be out of the business in the next 3 to 5 years.
Absolutely.
And the number of realtors has already peaked at 1.4 million. And of those 1.4 million, let me break down some other numbers for you, because there was some really great stuff here. So of the 1.4 million agents, only 43,000 sold more than 25 homes last year. That's 3%. And 16,000 sold 50 or more properties or $20 million in volume. So, I mean, we're looking at like 3%, 1% are actually doing business out of the 1.4 million. And there's a lot of money to be made in real estate right now. So if these people aren't doing video and you don't give the consumer what they want, what's the number one complaint about agents? They never hear from their clients. So if they're not listening to them and actually communicating they want to and engaging them in the right way, I mean, you're going to be out of the business. So
if you're an agent and you're not using video, how are you going to showcase like a great house?
Well, yeah. So I mean, obviously Nick's behind the camera here. He does video walkthroughs for all our properties. We do all those sort of things. That's what people want. But like, so let's say there's an agent out there. I've got some answers. What do you think are the best ways for the agent to use video and engage?
Well, first I would just maybe get on your social media and just throw out some facts, be informative. Hey, this is what's going on in the market right now, or this is what buyers are looking for in their home. Maybe you should do this for like an upgrade or something like that. Just be post some helpful things. And then for the listing side, you need to be taking, videos for your clients.
Well, the property video to me is obvious. I mean, the big miss I see agents right now is they don't use video to earn the prospect and get the appointment. I mean, just sending a quick video like, hey, I tried calling, I missed you. I'd really love to talk, Jess, if there's a good time. Well, I know people that do it. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, that's a major miss because that's easy.
Yeah.
You don't need – this is obviously very produced here, right? So we got lights, we got a green screen, we got mics all over the place.
Like
Nick came with me to the summit to get a lot of video content. So – all that takes is your cell phone here. I mean, it's not hard. There's apps. I mean, BombBomb is...
Well, that's how I communicate with my friend. That's how you communicate with someone that you're close to, too, right? Like, I'm always FaceTiming or something like that with the people that I'm very, very close to. So why don't you try and create that connection with a potential client?
It's super easy to do. So, I mean, I would say that the first way and the easiest way is it doesn't have to be produced. It doesn't have to be raw. You're going to say the same thing you would in a phone conversation, but you took the time to send a 3-minute video or... 3 minutes is probably too long, actually. It should be like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And you take the time to do that, you're going to earn more business. The video walkthroughs, I mean, if you're not doing those for your listings, if you're a seller watching this, fire that agent immediately and get somebody else because they're doing you a disservice. This stuff is great. I mean, we have the Did You Know sort of video with Tom's Take that we do. We have the educational piece for other agents. This is more kind of local information, sort of like the news
CJM,
almost.
Welcome to the weekend.
Yeah. So, what we're doing is obviously... We're trying to scale this, and we worked hard at it. You don't have to start there. It's really easy to get started. The hard part is being consistent and putting out something every week, or every time you get a new lead, you send that to them. So
I think the hard part, too, for a lot of people, and you can tell them what you say to me, but, like, they're afraid to actually have their face on the camera, and you just say, that's what you look like. Just do it.
Well, but, I mean, if you're going to meet with somebody...
They're going to see you.
They're going to see you, so it's not any different. And we've got headshots on our website. I mean, they probably look you up on social media.
Yeah.
Which so there's fear is one thing. I don't even think it's fear though, because today everyone's on video all the time. They're FaceTiming. They're using Marco Polo or Snapchat or whatever. Instagram stories are the same thing. That's video in some cases. So to me, it's not so much that. It's being consistent and actually making it part of your marketing plan. And if there's an agent watching saying, "Oh, I don't need to do video. I've been doing this forever," well, you better get out of the business because that's what's going to happen here. And this is a classic example of realtors doing things a certain way because that's how they always did them. And guess what? The market is changing, and the more you can incorporate video, you're going to grow 49% faster. This is according to Google. So to me, it's a no-brainer. And what Tom said was, I mean, there's all kinds of different videos you can do. And I don't, and there's not one good way to do it. It's what's going to be authentic to you.
Yeah.
And that is where you're going to shine. So, we have a friend of mine, Carrie White. She's out in, actually Carrie Crumbaker, but she's not changing her business name. So right at the beginning of the summit, she does a show called Carrie TV, and it's like, here's the 18 things I've learned in real estate over the past 18 years and breaks them down one by one. That's very real to her. We do more of a did you know thing because I'm like facts, business, that's more my personality.
There's some agents out there who just like are talking like in their car after they get done a meeting and just bring it through that way. It has to be true to you, exactly your personality. You can't be trying to act like someone else.
100%. So if you show people who you are, you're going to attract more people that are going to want to work with you that are like you. So if you're not doing video, I mean, this was the clearest takeaway. If you're not doing video, you better start, or you better find a new line of work. That was pretty much. Tom didn't say it like that. I am, and it was super clear. Well, and the theme was all in. So then the other thing I'll kind of share here, and then we can chat about this and get into the motivational part. So he broke it down into 4 ways that you can be all in. I thought this was pretty interesting. So one is to have a clear, emotionally charged goal where you get like ticked off about it. You get emotional about it. 2 is to raise your standards. 3, surround yourself with like minds because they challenge you to be better. And 4, massively increase your accountability. So that's really the way to go all in on a business. And like let's take video for example. We have a clear goal here, and part of our mission is to help people in our marketplace. So by giving them the right information, we're doing that. Raising our standards. So if you look at some of the earlier videos we did, they were shot on my iPhone. The first couple didn't even have a mic. I mean, they were not good, so we've raised our standards that we have a certain way our videos look that we put together, and we have a very certain way our listings look. Video tour, room dimensions, very complete, and we have a way we service our clients that are the expectations. Surrounding yourself with like minds, I mean, that's pretty obvious when Nick and I are flying across the country for 3 days and trying to level up and be better and increasing your accountability. I mean, that's where you have to be really public about your goals and what you're trying to do, and not so much your business goals, but I'm doing this. And Byron Lazine, right, good friend of ours. So he just finished doing 350 workouts in a year. He committed last summit, and he finished this summit. That's a big commitment.
That's
and literally every day.
365 days in a year.
Yeah, well, and he missed a bunch, and he had to do like 2-a-day workouts, and we've been talking about it. It's like every day he's posting that on his Instagram story. So he's doing that and really increasing his accountability. So that's one example. I mean, Tom was making bets with people about how many people they would talk to and all sorts of stuff during the summit. So if you're going all in, this is a great way to break it down. What do you think about all that, Jess?
I think the accountability is huge, but even more than that, the one that has helped me the most is surrounding yourself with the people who are doing better than you. I mean, you don't want to be the best person in the room, like we always hear them say. Like, surround yourself with people who are chasing what you're chasing and will help you and bring you along, because if you're not doing what you're supposed to, they're going to call you out on it. And they're going to say, come on, do your stuff. I was going to curse. I don't know, even a blip. But no, I think that's the biggest one.
So so you've done this recently, right? So why don't you tell people what you did to surround yourself with different people, and then maybe if they're trying to get into that place or they feel like they're kind of getting brought down. I mean, Jay-Z said this, and I think it's one of the greatest quotes ever. It's that if you want to stay, I didn't work this hard to stay the same. And people say, wow, you've changed a lot because you've been working hard and growing. It's, well, what did you think I wanted to do? Be the same guy? I mean, what's the point? I didn't have to work hard to do that. So what did you do to kind of surround yourself with the right people, and what's some advice that you have for anyone that's watching?
Well, when I started, I was doing something completely different, and I found one person who wanted to get into real estate, and we took the exam together. And then I joined your team, and it was completely different, I guess a different environment of, we're not just going to be your typical realtor who is, selling 3 houses a year. We're going to push you, and we're going to do a lot more than that. And I felt like if I was around a different team, then I would not be doing as well as I am now. We have these goals. We have goals in place. We have standards that you have to hit. And if you're surrounding yourself with people who are just not looking forward to the weekend, not doing anything productive with their week, that's where you're going to stay. So I had to get myself out of that and put myself in a place where there are people doing what I want to do.
Well, and that's an important mindset, because everyone, like today, so we typically film this at the beginning of the week. So today's Monday, even though this will release in a couple days, and everyone's like, oh, I got the Monday blues. I'm going back to work, and I mean, what a crappy way to start your week. I mean, if you want to...
Monday through Friday, that's your life. Like, you can't live for like 3 days.
Well, and if you don't like what you're doing, you probably need to do something else. So if people are coming in saying, oh, I can't believe it's Monday, I mean, to me, I look at Monday as like opportunity. Like, there's a whole week ahead of me to get some things done and move the needle and hit our goals. So, and then you get like, oh, it's hump day, it's the middle of the week, and then, oh, TGIF.
That's the worst.
I mean, it's all they're doing is count down to 2. That's 2 out of 7 days that you're looking forward to. I mean, that's, you're at like, not even 25%. I guess a little more than 25% of the week. So it's I don't really see how you can go through life like that.
That's not the kind
and
of
be
life I
all
wanna
in,
live.
right?
Yeah.
If that's what he's talking about here. So, there's different parts of the week, and you have to embrace them for what they are.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Monday's all about opportunity. Wednesday's like, hey, I still got half the week to go to get done what I need to get done. That's where it's important to raise your standards, right? Increase your accountability of what you want to get done every week, and then have that goal that you're working towards so you can kind of check it off or make progress, because that's what it's really about. So
it sounds like I missed out on a lot of good stuff at Summit.
was the reason why I asked everyone to go to the summit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was only me and Nick, so maybe we can all kind of
Next
rebound and well, not even next year. I mean, there's a ton of events like that, and I love that you guys watched it. That was really great. I think rewatching it's going to be important. There's a ton of content there. I have to rewatch some stuff because I couldn't get to it all. So I was really impressed with the speakers. But, I mean, the clear message to me was get on video and commit to it just like you are at any other part of your business.
Absolutely.
So we got some motivation here, Jess, right?
Yes. Ernest Hemingway said there is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self.
Well, this is pretty much what we just talked about, right? So, you have a goal and you work hard. Like, I'm just trying to be better than I was yesterday, not necessarily better than everyone else. I mean, there's a competitive aspect.
I feel like that's what everybody looks at, right? Like, I want to be better than him. Well, not everybody, but I feel like that's kind of common.
There's a competitive aspect to this business. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm super competitive that way. What I know is that it's really ultimately like you're playing against yourself. I mean, it's what are you going to do to get better and to improve, because other people are going to have different skill sets. I'm looking to counterbalance my weaknesses, not necessarily my strengths. I mean, it's great to work on the stuff you're good at, but you're already good at that. So why don't you work on the other stuff where you need some help? And that's where I see people can, kind of be superior to their former selves because they're improving on their weaknesses, not getting better at their strengths. And I'm all for getting better at your strengths. You have to kind of decide what you're going to work on each day and have a game plan where you're going to be really good at one thing, then master that, maybe move on to the next one versus, just looking at the competition and trying to beat them, because if you fill in your gaps, you're going to get better. And not enough people do that.
Them. Yes, absolutely. I think what this is telling me is like you can't be looking over your shoulder constantly, because that's going to hold you back. Looking at what other people are doing, they are not you. They're going to have a different way. I mean, people are going to like them and people are going to like you, and they may not like you and they may not like them, but you can't compare yourself to other people constantly. At the end of your life, you're not going to remember, okay, I was better than that person, I was better than that person. What I'm probably going to be thinking is, hey, I got better myself gradually over the years. That's what I'm going to be thinking about, not Susie Lou.
I don't know who that is, but apparently it's Jess's arch nemesis here.
Yes.
So great way to end the show. Love the motivation here. Love the self-improvement. Catch you guys next week.